Welcome, everyone. This is Coffee with a Founder. I'm actually drinking coffee today. How about that? My name is Beck Bamberger, and we do this show because we love to investigate why founders are doing the crazy endeavor of running a venture-backed company, because you got to be a level of crazy to some extent to do such. And with us today is Chris Jenny. He's the co-founder of Planted, based over in Europe. Yay. And that's why we're doing a morning session, probably, Chris. So we're
Yes.
here. Where are you recording in from? Are you right now in
Zurich.
Switzerland? Okay, Zurich.
Yes,
Yeah,
I'm actually in
exactly.
Zurich. Yes.
Excellent. Oh, what a beautiful place, etc. Well, we'll see what we get into today, Chris, but as we will see. We will see all the things. But Planted, tell us a little bit about that. It is, of course, in the food space, and you've been at it for, a handful of years, almost 6 now coming up, right?
Yes, we just celebrated our 6th birthday. We just opened up our second factory of producing meat that is fermented out of plants.
Fermented, yes. The slogan on your LinkedIn is fermenting better proteins. So let's get into that. Okay, why'd you start Planted?
I was actually on the restaurant side and didn't find any clean label, great tasting proteins, and thought, hey, I give it a shot to myself together with a pretty diverse founder team, 2 from the tech side and 2 more commercial. And we thought, hey, we can do this better than the status quo. Better, I think, for us is the taste, the consumer experience. So it should wow you. I can only talk about that today. But we put a lot of effort into having an authentic taste that is well differentiated, but that gives you that wow, savory moment. Then obviously it's price. So we're very acutely aware that in Switzerland we're very privileged. So we do want to produce meat out of plants that is highly affordable. But then also health. So doing something that is better for consumer. And I believe on the fermentation side we have a lot of things to add. And last but not least, I'm from the mountains, so I see the glaciers melting every year, and we do want to do something for the environment.
Yes. Okay. So all of these aspects: healthier, good for the environment, of course, price affordable, and a wow factor for taste.
Yes. Better for you, better for the planet. Planet.
Okay. So, as you know, Chris, there are lots of people in the alt meat sector. Lots, and all types of the meat, whether it's beef or we're doing chicken or pork or charcuterie. There's been in quite a lot. I see you have something on your website of like the face of our meat revolution and so forth. So how do you stay relevant and above, and frankly, the market leader, let's say, while the space is so dang crowded?
Taste. Yes, I believe consumers are only back if you have the most amazing taste. And so I believe we stay ahead of the competition, but more importantly, gaining market share versus animal meat by taste. So it's this wow moment, and then combining doing something better for you as a person, for your health, because we're extremely rich in fiber. And so you have all of those nice things that fibers do, especially on the pre and postbiotic side, which I think is a huge topic. And on the other side, doing something better for the planet. And I believe that resonates. So you don't need to sacrifice. You're in for an amazing experience, an authentic experience, but you do something better for you. And I think that's the important part about it.
And you have steak right now, chicken, and pulled pork?
Yes.
Because I'm looking at all the products and stuff. And by the way, there's a beautiful little map on your website that shows like where are you all? So you guys are dominant, it looks like, in a lot of Europe, especially Eastern Europe.
Yes, Central Europe more.
Central.
Seems to look maybe on the map a little bit like that. Now we're the market leader in Switzerland.
Germany. Exactly. A little bit in France, all the way down to Italy.
Yes. Market leader in Switzerland, Austria, fastest growing in Germany. Very strong in Italy, getting stronger in France and Benelux. So we focus on this, let's say, Central European market, where we really aim in whatever market we go to, that we have a significant market share, that we win consumers into the category. So I care maybe less so to take the steak away from competitors, so to speak,
Yeah.
versus gaining versus the animal. And so this is our sole focus, is making people who occasionally want to switch an amazing experience.
Ooh, double tap on that a little bit. So you just said occasionally wish to switch. So is that a consumer that's like, hey, I still want to eat, actual meat, but on occasion, or I want to incorporate this into my diet instead? Give me a little bit of the persona of who you're after.
I'm very persona free. So I believe
Oh,
it's
okay.
everybody. The market's going to be everyone. But
Okay.
no, obviously we have a consumer that, let's say, favors us. And it's typically people who are aware of the impact, especially of red meat, for their health,
Yeah.
first and foremost. But then second, also for the planet. And so rather than not eating red meat, we do see our, let's say, frequent customer to love the experience of food, you love the experience of meat, but don't want the health nor the environmental or animal impact. And so it is a consumer that is very much about taste, not
Yeah.
willing to sacrifice. Is in for an authentic experience. So we don't try to replicate one-to-one, but to replicate the occasion and be there for them when they love to have a hero of plate or some great tasting food that is not bland. And that's where I think we excel.
Okay. And you have 3 other co-founders, correct?
Yes.
Okay. That adds a lot to the mix of conversation, I'm sure, decisions and stuff. So how do you all, because a lot on the show we get into the dynamics of people, dealing with people, not just like how you sell your product, but people and the intricacies of dealing with people. How do you four then decide to decide? And what's kind of that process?
I think we try to prepare well for important decisions. So we pre-write a lot of meetings, and it's not about us four, but we're a leadership team of about 8 people.
Okay.
And so it is finding as a leadership team the best strategy forward. And so I find it typically very useful to pre-write the meeting to lay out the most important facts about the decision. And I think as soon as you're agreeing on what the facts are, then I think typically people are pretty sensible. And so we come to similar decisions. It's very seldom we disagree on something. And if we disagree, it's maybe more because we have a different weighting on the factors that lead to a decision. And so I believe it's very important to align on the factors, on the data that we all believe in. And then I think the decisions come more natural.
So you're a very data-focused, reasonable team, it sounds like.
That takes audacious risks.
Takes audacious risk. What's interesting, Chris, is you're not saying, oh, someone gets emotional about that, or we got to deal with so and so, and this is very Swiss. Just like, okay, here are the facts. We prepared and we decide.
Yes,
and we're scientists and we're numbers people. So
yes, I think that we try to. Well, I think fact can be also qualitative. So we place a qualitative feedback also from consumer. And so we gather a lot of qualitative feedback into the mix. But I believe, regardless if it's quantitative or qualitative, I believe aligning on the facts is most important. And then from there, I think decisions are much easier to take.
What's the biggest challenge then you all have in working together, if there is one?
I think getting everybody at the table. We're very product focused.
Yeah.
And in the beginning, it was much easier.
Yeah.
And now getting everybody around the table to
For one meeting.
Discuss things, yes, I think it's more difficult.
Yes. And you have 200 plus employees now at this point. So
yes,
it's a lot of people, right? Yeah. Okay. How do you go about hiring people now, especially with all the AI stuff and the buffoonery of fake interviews and so forth? What's your take on it?
I like to meet people in person.
Yes. There's a revolution of this happening for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was always very important for us because we're a product company and our products are physical and not software. So I believe that meeting in person was always very important to us. The second point is about AI. I actually ask a lot. So one of my usual interview questions is like, what have you done recently with AI that transformed the company or your current role? And explain me. And I find that very intriguing.
And what are some of the answers you're hearing, if anything, that you go like, oh, okay?
Not enough yet. So I believe not enough people have really taken the plunge to try to leverage AI, not just during job interviews, but beyond. And so I think, care to see how people have created value for them personally or for the company they've worked at, to really have a meaningful impact using AI. So.
Mm. And let me turn it back on you then, Chris, because you were just saying, okay, we're a product-based company and so forth. But what about you? What's the tool or unlock you've at least had on anything AI? Because this is a lot. By the way, I find this a lot with lots of CEOs and everything. Of course, there's tons of AI startups that are venture-backed, which have been on the show, of course. So it's every day they're building the thing. But for someone, you perhaps, I don't know if AI is helping you with the fermentation for these alternative meats, but tell us what you're doing. Oh, okay, yes.
That's more machine learning than, let's say,
yeah.
than an LLM. But
Yeah.
so we used a lot of machine learning already when it wasn't cool.
Yeah.
So
cool.
we're finding all of the parameters and everything.
Yeah.
We have a machine learning process. So we use it very heavily on production. For me personally, I find it very intriguing to get feedback on things. So I have one of my favorite things I think I started doing is personas. So based on all the customer feedback we get and all of the reviews we read online and the social media interactions, we have like the personas are getting created, and then basically if I want to know like what or talk with consumers, I use this a lot, and I love this. Yeah. So give me feedback. What do you think about this packaging? What do you like? What do you not like? And then you get 25, 50 personas, how many you want to answer you. And that's exercise I really enjoy. Yeah.
Okay, so you like that part. You love, see, because I talk with other people who get like, oh my God, you get so many different opinions. Oh, I like it with the yellow button. I don't like it with the yellow button's too big. I like it with the pink button, whatever. Like there's a lot. And you guys have a bold brand, by the way, like the purple, and it's very consumer friendly and fun. I would say. So when you get a pile of feedback from your qualitative, you're talking to your personas.
Yes.
How do you then take it in and actually do something with it versus like, oh gosh, I'm just going to build something and I'm going to tell them what they want, which is like the Apple model of like, I'll tell you what you want.
So I think the bold product decisions you can't do either with an LLM or with actual consumer research. I believe the bold things like doing, so we grow a whole muscle of meat. It's about 5 to 10 kilos heavy. And that decision to do that, I think no AI or no automated process gives you. However, then how you package it and like, hey, what do you perceive from this packaging? What do you like? What you don't like? What do you believe you're going to cook with this? And all of these things, that's where I enjoy it. And that's where I enjoy, let's say, diverse opinions. And an LLM, I find, is really efficient at doing that.
Okay. And so you take this feedback from the consumers and the personas, and how quickly does it get ingested into the company? Would you say, like, I'm just looking for like, what's the feedback round and what's the speed of what you guys do?
I do it a lot in product meetings. So like
you do right
live when we're in the product meeting. Yeah. Like if somebody shows something or we discuss something, like you can run a concept within, I don't know, 5 or 6 minutes. It typically takes on a bigger query. And after 5 to 6 minutes, you know the answer. And
there you go. So yeah. Oh, that's cool. Can you give us an example of recently? Some feedback?
Yeah, we do like steak bites. So we have the steak as the hero, and we're starting now with a range of like beef cubes, which we call steak bites. And we're doing different flavor directions. And basically, so what do you think of the naming? What do you associate with the packaging? Like what do you expect from that marinade? So on and so forth. And we had a lot of discussions. And I found it very helpful for me to form my opinion, to have that conversation with, let's say, 50 virtual personas. So then you basically ask, like, what are you going to cook with this? What do you perceive the pack to be like? Do you expect, for example, one marinade we call a classic? What do you expect from a classic marinade?
Okay.
And I find that very helpful.
So just to be clear, Chris, you're actually using AI to act as the persona and getting that feedback live and then aggregating it from there. So
yeah, we feed in actual feedback we got for other products.
Yeah.
And then basically let's say, chances are very similar that you've
Yes.
already tested similar things or similar thoughts, etc. We get like quite a bit of Reddit engagement on some of the products we launch, and so like you feed that stuff in, and then I think you get really good feedback. Yeah,
You said on Reddit, you get the
yeah.
feedback?
Reddit, for example, is very
I'm telling.
qualitatively very
Isn't
strong. Yeah.
Reddit the like dark horse that's come galloping out of this whole AI moment? I'm like, cheers to Reddit on this,
Yes.
getting the citations on everything, on every
Yes.
answer engine, and so forth. So, and the irony is, of course, it's just people chatting about all their little weird, quirky
Yes.
verticals of interest and things, which I'm
I
just like,
think
of course, it
what
goes back
Reddit
to
did really nicely as a product, I think they protected it from companies.
exactly,
So it kind of excludes a little bit of like marketing. That's why
exactly.
I think why everybody finds it so valuable.
Oh yeah, and it's just the society's water cooler, for
Yes.
better or for worse. Gotcha. What are you looking forward to at this moment, Chris?
We do cold cut, so we can smoke, we can cure this whole muscle of beef or
Yeah.
meat, whatever you want to call it. And I love cold cuts. And
Okay.
cold cuts are, it's like much more here in Europe than in the US.
Yeah, yeah, that's definitely a real
And
thing.
like
Yeah.
we have this pastrami bagel which we launched with a food service chain, and like that's like it's
Ooh.
really at this level
Ooh.
where like you hear people chatting next to you in the restaurant and like they can't tell, like, no chance they can tell if it's animal or non-animal.
Well, that's the
And
win.
bringing
Okay.
that to more people, so like we're still ramping up capacity, but bringing that up to more people, that really excites me.
Shipping your bagel, Chris. Okay, I like
Yes.
this. hmm All right, you mentioned the U.S. there just for a second. Is there any? What's the U.S. expansion look like, if anything? You might be like, we're not touching the U.S. I don't know.
No, I'm a bit contrarian, so
Yeah.
I
Okay.
really like the high beef prices. So
Yes. There's a lot of meat
we,
in America. We love it.
yeah, and very expensive, and so I do think we
Yes.
could
Also that.
fundamentally undercut the beef prices.
hmm
So yes, we're looking at it obviously, but on the other side, we are very careful. We have a lot of markets to win here, and so we look at
Yeah,
it,
we do.
observe, learn, get feedback,
Yeah.
because tastes are local. And one of the great benefits is that this whole muscle you can really shape and tailor the taste to fit also like local taste. And
Oh,
so we're really working on understanding like what is a US taste, what would that look like.
okay. I haven't heard or thought about that before, which is eh, the taste in a certain market. Taste is local.
Yes, very
And I
local
actually haven't heard.
with
I
meat.
haven't had anybody. Yes, I haven't had anyone, the alternative meat sector that I've spoken to, mention that. And so, when did you get, just to kind of round us out for today, when did you get that unlocked to know, it is a localized thing? And maybe you've always known that because you've been a meat person. I don't know. I just haven't thought about, meat in Tennessee, for example, in the US is probably a different taste or texture or whatever than what I would expect in Napa Valley.
Yeah, I did restaurants before, so you get
Yes,
exposed
I
to
know.
it
Yeah.
quite early.
Yeah.
We did both restaurants in the US as well as here in Europe, and so you get to know the differences for the good and the bad. And yeah, no, I think it's always something I appreciated. Yeah.
So just from your restaurant experience, you were like,
Yes.
I already know this directly.
Yes, but not what it is. So I think you have to really work it out, and it's not easy.
Yeah.
Even within Switzerland, which is 8 million people, you have different tastes, and so I think it's
God. Okay.
yeah.
Can you break that down? Like what? Like this type of Swiss person is only looking at, give me an example. I find this fascinating.
So sausages are very local here, and so
Sausages are
like
very
even the
okay.
color changes, and so people are very opinionated about them, and so I think that's
Even the color
very
of the sausage.
different. Yeah, like it's very traditional, right? So like you have this really long heritage in some of this food, and so we have influences in Switzerland from France. We have influences from Italy, and we have influences more Nordic from Germany, and so we're very used to have like this, let's say, culturally infused
Huh.
kitchen where we get certain traits from certain regions of Europe.
Huh. Fascinating. Oh, well, Chris, thank you for being on today and chatting
My
about
pleasure.
the differences of locales with how they want the color of their sausage, for example. I've never thought about
Yes.
the differentials in that. Wow, wow. Chris Jenny, you are the co-founder of Planted. Thank you for being on today, all the way from Switzerland. My God, what a great place. And wishing you the best, especially this fall, which maybe is fall a big meat season, by the way, winter? I think so.
Yes,
Or is there
barbecue.
seasonality?
Barbecue is
Yeah,
our summer, so we're extremely strong with the steak. We're extremely strong for barbecue. So
gotcha.
we're
Okay,
just
so summer's over, but
recovering a
now,
little bit
oh, you're recovered.
barbecue
Okay. Oh,
from a very
barbecue's
busy
time.
barbecue season.
Okay, love it. Again, I never, I haven't thought about like, ooh, barbecue is the top time for you. Ah, great. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate you so much.
Likewise, thank you, Beck.